What's happening, good people? How's it going? How's everyone doing? Let me get the microphone adjusted accordingly. What's up, folks? How's everybody doing? Just give me 2 seconds here. I'm just double checking to make sure we're streaming. I believe we are, but sometimes you got to double check, man, because sometimes YouTube will give you the fuddy-duddy. Looks like we're live. What I'm also checking is if you guys can confirm the title of the stream. It looks like it's correct, but for whatever reason, man, when I put it out initially, I still had last week's title on there. So when I tried to share it out to Facebook, it kept saying, will Mason Rudolph be the starter in 2022? I couldn't get it to change. So if you guys could be so kind to help me out, share the stream, please. Share it out. Do this right here, right here. We're gonna start promoting this right here. Bam. Subscribe. Cut on your notifications. Hit the like button if you like what you like. If you don't, dislike. But also share out the stream. Please do that. If you're on Facebook, if you're in the Steelers group, you're in the Steelers chat, you're on Steelers Twitter, wherever you are, help your boy out and share the stream. Please do that, if you'd be so kind. But how's everybody doing tonight, man? Let's get into it. You know, like I said, I try not to. And oh, y'all know what I didn't do? 1 second. Y'all are going to hear me do this in real time. I forgot to start the phone queue. Silly me. So y'all are going to hear this in real time. All right. Let me put the headphones on really quick so I can hear what it's actually saying. But just to get you guys talking, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is well. Man, rushing, and I forgot to start the phone queue. So let me do that. Actually, what I'm going to do is mute the browser really quick so you guys don't have to hear it. But hopefully everybody's doing okay. So give me a second. Let me get that cracky-lacking, and then I can get right back to the action. And keep in mind, guys, this is a family affair. So if you have something that you want to share, a topic that you want me to discuss, please let me know. You know, a lot of times I'm coming up with these topics. I'm pulling them out of the air, you know, during this time of the year. You guys know, you know, at this point of the year, it's not really a lot to get into. So, yeah, if you have something that you want me to say, put it in the chat. I will discuss it. Of course, you know, I've been told I should say this. If you guys want your comment to definitely be seen and heard and read, drop a super chat. It'll pop up, and I will spotlight your comment. Completely up to you. Other than that, you know, hopefully I see it in passing. But again, like I said, if you want to guarantee that, it's always an option. 1 more second or so, guys. I'm about to get the phone queue up and running, and then we can get started. But again, how's everybody doing this lovely evening? Got a couple things to talk about, man, as I start this phone queue. Not a lot, but, you know, there were a few things to pull from. And let me just get to my list here. As you guys may see in the description, we will be talking about, will Big Ben hold back Matt Canada's offense? That's the first, and well, not the first, but that is the meat topic, the main topic of the night. Terrell Edmunds, you know, his approach to this season. I want to definitely address that, given the fact that he spoke a little bit on, you know, him and Mike Tomlin's conversation. Is Najee Harris too much of a workaholic? You know, we've had a similar topic like that before, but we will address that again. And also, is Ray Ray McCloud an option in the slot? Okay, that's what we're hearing. The phone queue is up and running now, guys. So now we can get to business here. So let's go ahead and do it. 2 seconds. I guess not. But you guys let me know if I sound too loud, man. It seems like this microphone is really, really sensitive. So you guys let me know, is it too loud? You know, in the meantime, I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. But all right, let me stop acting like an amateur and get to it, man. First thing we do here is we like to say hello to the early commenters. So let's do that. Scroll all the way back up to the top. Drama Seidel, what's going on? How you doing? Amon Bozeman, Rig Steele, Joshua Shields, Charlie Brown, Patrick Knox. He said no sound. No sound. Okay. I'm sure you guys can hear me now, correct? Let's make sure. Y'all can hear me now, all right? Okay, so maybe that was, beforehand. So I apologize for that, Patrick Knox. Mr. Winningham, how you doing this evening, sir? Oh, okay, I see Lanisha was letting him know that I hadn't come on yet, so that was early on. And hello, Miss Lanisha, how are you doing this evening, Miss Lady? Hello, Miss Odessa. How are you doing this evening, Miss Lady? Devil, Lance and Shield, Rail Facts, Black and Gold James. I like that. Like that name right there, brother. Douglas Cooley, Todd Christian, Lydell Dorsey, Y Diggy. Who else we got? C. Antoine Hill. Hey, man, Twan. You already know. I don't want to get into that because this ain't the show for that, but our boys better get it together. I'll say that. Good brother Kenyon in the building like always. Sippy Boy 302. And we will stop it with The Real Missy 868. Hello, The Real Missy. I think we spoke to you last week and you were able to confirm that you are a female listener as well. So proper greeting to you. Hello, The Real Missy. How you doing this evening, Miss Lady? All right, let's get into it, man. Look, let's throw a side comment out there, a side topic, if you will. Just to get your juices bubbling and your blood boiling. Le'Veon Bell. Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell for a split second. I know. What does it really have to do with the Steelers? We essentially have our Le'Veon Bell Part 2, in my opinion. I think we have Le'Veon Bell Part 2 who will be taking the field this year, God willing. Let's just talk about him for a minute, man. I'm just going to be brief. It's mighty crazy and mighty funny, with the exception of, I don't know if we could say that about Antonio Brown now, because Antonio Brown did find his way to Tampa and won a ring, right? Antonio Brown wins a Super Bowl ring, post Pittsburgh Steelers, and, he went to a stacked team. It is what it is, man. I'm not going to get into the validity of his ring. He did do some things for them. He caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. It's valid. Regardless of how this team was stacked, it is what it is, guys. You got to give them their credit. I have nothing but love for Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, quite a few people I like on that team, man. And, it is what it is. Brady gets another one, whatever. But I don't think we can really say the same thing about AB anymore, about, look what happens when he leaves the Steelers. For a minute, things was crazy and rocky, and he has some allegations But, he finds his way down to the Buccaneers and gets a Super Bowl ring. So I guess we can kind of cross him off that list. But Le'Veon Bell, it just hasn't been the same for you, brother. Just has not been the same for you since you left the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just to bring everybody up to speed, we had an opportunity to sign him. You guys know that Le'Veon Bell wanted receiver money. The Pittsburgh Steelers, if I remember correctly, the final offer was about $15 million. They were going to offer him. He didn't take that. We were offering him, I think it was a 4-year, $60 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, it's always an issue with guaranteed money when you're dealing with the Steelers. I understand that. But at the end of the day, we all know by now how the Steelers can, how they structure their contracts and how guys end up getting paid if they stay for the duration, for the most part. A lot of guys in Pittsburgh get the bulk of their contract. We just don't do huge guaranteed money. It's more so your guaranteed is like your signing bonus, and then they structure the deals down the road, right? But everybody knew, and even he knew, that he literally, virtually, he was going to, the numbers worked out to where he was virtually going to receive $33 million, I think it was, as long as he was on the team for 2 years, which we know he would have been. If Le'Veon Bell would have signed with us when he did, he's still on the team, perhaps. So he probably would have got the most, if not all of that contract. But he decides to sit out. He goes to the Jets, and he eventually ends up signing basically a lesser deal, a little more guaranteed. But the deal was less than what the Steelers put on the table. Didn't do anything for the Jets. He still got his guaranteed money. Congrats to him. Goes out to Kansas City, and he's really not a force for them at all. He's really not important to their offense. And now, he comes out and he slanders Andy Reid. Who Who is Andy Green? Where did I pull that name from? Andy Green. Who's that? But he slanders Andy Reid. And listen, I'm not going to get into whether it's warranted or not. Whether Le'Veon Bell is a good guy or bad guy, whether Andy Reid is a good guy or bad guy, that's not what I'm here for. It's just, to me, it's just crazy because now I feel like what you've essentially done is you basically have may have put a fork into your own career. Maybe that's what he wants. Who knows? You never know what guys are thinking. Le'Veon Bell is what now? Let me see. Is he 29 yet? Got to be close to it, right? Let's see what Le'Veon Bell is at the moment. Le'Veon Bell. Real time here, guys. Y'all know how I do. Let's see. What is his current age? Somebody text me. I thought I got a text just now. Le'Veon Bell is 29 years old. He turned 29. Yeah. He turned 29 years of age back in February. Okay. So there you have it. He's at that stage where running backs are not as valuable anymore. And it is what it is. He could have very well put a fork into his own career. But at the end of the day, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get why social media is such a catalyst for everything. Why do people feel like they have to say stuff? I don't get it, But it is what it is, man. But like I said, I just wanted to, throw that out there as a preliminary topic. Let me see what some of you guys are saying. Or any of you guys. I don't see any of you guys talking about Le'Veon Bell. And, oh, yeah, guys. Oh, Darius Dill told me to speak on it, so I just did. Like I kind of glossed over it, but it was, to me, it's just disrespectful, man. It's just real disrespectful. I don't understand why, he needed to come out and say anything like that, so. But the next side topic I will talk about really quick, guys. So, Aditi Kinkambwala, did I say that correctly? She reports that, I guess she spoke to Tomlin or what have you, first day of minicamp today, and apparently JuJu Smith-Schuster and Ben Roethlisberger, didn't really finish the day. Reportedly, Ben was being seen by trainers and JuJu left the field. Now, okay, it's semi-news, right? And, basically Tomlin said, look, we're not going to get into that right now. He basically said he's not going down that road. Not going to discuss injuries at this stage, this juncture, what have you. I will say this. Is it a little bit noteworthy? Perhaps. Only because if it's something serious, then yeah, that totally changes the way the season, would turn out, especially if something was really wrong with Ben. It creates speculation. Is it his elbow? Who knows, right? But I will say this as well. The flip side of that is it's mini camp. There are no reports of it being serious, from the eye of those who were there. It's mini camp. I'm sure it's little bumps and bruises, the little stuff that happens when you get back into a combat sport, even though I don't think they had pads or anything on. I don't think they're going to do any hitting in minicamp, even though I believe it's an option. But I definitely don't think that happened today. It's more 11 on 11, so it's a little more, ratcheted up, if you will. It's a little more intense, but at the end of the day, not hitting the panic button. I'm not even going to speculate. And hey, if it is actually something, then we'll talk about it. That's just who I am personality-wise. I don't go crazy. I don't jump off the deep end until I know there's actually something to talk about. And if there is something to talk about, we'll talk about it. But right now, I mentioned it, and I'll move on. So those were my two side comments, guys, as far as topics. So let's get into a couple of the real ones. And, we'll zip through this, and we'll get the phone calls, and then we'll be out of here. First thing we'll talk about is Terrell Edmunds and his approach to this season. For you guys that didn't see it, he did do an interview on Steelers.com, and they basically talked a little bit about his fifth-year option, it not being picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They asked him how he felt about it and what have you, and, kind of mentioned that Minka, was a little disappointed that the Steelers didn't pick it up. And everybody knows what this is, guys. It's one of those situations where I know it's tough as a player because sometimes you have to be real with yourself, right? You understand it's a cap situation or not. Excuse me. It might not be fully a cap situation. It could very well be a performance thing, right? It's not like Terrell Edmunds has been a world beater. At the same time, I don't think he played bad enough to not pick up his option. I think Terrell Edmunds has been and has become a solid and a valuable option at strong safety for the Steelers defense. And I kind of don't know if I want to go in another direction right away. Him and Minka are starting there and continuing to build that chemistry. I don't know if I'm ready to just go in another direction right away. But, it is what it is, guys. You don't fall in love with any players, right? You might love a player, but at the end of the day, when their time is up, their time is up. However, I definitely like the way he approached it, and speaking of approach, I definitely love the fact that he said, Tomlin called him. And again, that's that, players coach mentality. He called him and told him, hey, man, we're not going to pick up your option, but that doesn't mean that we can't do business going forward, yada, yada, yada. And hey, I like that. And I like the fact that Terrell Edmunds is saying, yeah, I'm approaching this like a contract year, which means, hey, what if he go out there and have his best season? Great. It's great for us because that means we had two safeties that played pretty well in 2021, right? And it could mean, you never know. It's how high is his market going to be? He could very well find himself still back with Pittsburgh. So to me, it's a win-win. I feel like if you're getting the same production and he doesn't, take another step, are the Steelers willing to part ways and look for a replacement? Probably. And for you guys that don't like Terrell Edmunds, it's a win for you. But if he plays great, his market still might not be too expensive. You sign him back, and now we got another safety that's playing great. So I love the approach to the season. I love the fact that he's approaching it that way, putting the weight on his shoulders, understanding this is a contract year. I got to go get it, and hopefully that translates into his play. So that would be great. That would be great. Next. Oh, I see Kenyon. Let me quick sidebar. I see Kenyon said that Le'Veon did apologize, and it's my thing is too, man. It's like I don't want to be too harsh on people that apologize, but it's like I've always learned, growing up. Like Pops would say, "Listen, what you say is what you said. You might apologize for it for whatever reason you're apologizing, but what you said was fact." You meant what you said at the end of the day. And that applies to all of us, right? That applies to all of us. Whether we get into an argument with somebody that's near and dear to your heart, your lady, your guy, your man, your mother, your father, your child, your niece, your nephew, your aunt, your uncle, father, mother, you know what I'm saying? You might love them to death and all of that, and y'all get into something heated, your best friend. What you said, you meant what you said. Maybe you didn't mean to say it the way you said it, or maybe your intention wasn't really to cut them deep, but you might have said something in the heat of the moment, but it doesn't take away the fact that you said it. That means it was in here, right? It wasn't like a false statement that means, it was in your mind. So, yeah. You can apologize all you want, but the fact remains you meant what you said. And that's how I look at stuff. Now, of course, I can accept apologies and still be like, yeah, that was kind of messed up, but it doesn't take away what they said. So again, even though it wasn't that serious, we're talking about a sports figure, talking about a team or a coach, whatever. Who cares, right? It's not the real world technically. but no need to come back and apologize. At best, I love when people apologize realistically, when they be like, look, what I said is what I said, but I didn't mean for it to come off so abrasive or something. Cool. But I can't stand, especially when people get caught with their pants down, so to speak, in the public, and then, that's not me. I would never say. Yes, you would. That's why you said it. Come on, man. I hate them whack apologies. That's just me. I didn't hear Le'Veon's. I'm just talking. I didn't hear what he had to say. I'm just saying, y'all know what I'm talking about when them people get caught, like I said, with their pants down. They get caught off guard. All of a sudden, whoa, let me come out and make an apology. That's a word that I would never say. Stop it. You said it. Or you did it. You know what I mean? So, let me get back to what we were talking about, right? Najee Harris. We keep hearing about Najee Harris being a workaholic. I want to know, and I'm going to throw it to the chat. Is it a good or bad thing? I really want you guys to answer that. Is it a good or bad thing that the coaches are literally saying they have to tell this guy, go home. Go home, man. Go home. You know what I mean? Clear your head. Eddie Faulkner is saying, look, man, sometimes you just need to, you got it covered. You've done everything. Go home, watch some TV, sit back, man, take some time, You're overdoing it. Like, we got it. And again, a coach is never going to tell you not to work. But, if a coach is telling you that, I think it's kind of like, all right, don't kill yourself with this. You can be all about your business, but you do need some time to clear your head. So I'm asking you guys, what do you guys think? Is it a good or bad thing? I do think it's good that he has that ethic. That work ethic, perfect. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it's a very good thing. But I do agree with the coaches. You still need to, absorb what you're doing as far as football and all of that, but still, live your life. It has to be a balance. And again, you could eat, sleep, breathe football. I get it. But don't overwork it. Just pace yourself and continue to be that workaholic. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think, man? Let me see what y'all got in the chat. See, Antoine Hill says it's a good thing. Yeah, Mr. Winningham, I agree with you there 100%. He said it's infectious in a good way. Lee, is it Pate or Patty or Patey? He says it's a great thing. It means Najee is hungry for success. Absolutely. Sacktown Steelers comes in and gut punches all of us. He says he won't last the whole season. Come on, man. Why are we talking like that? Why are we talking like that? I think I get where you're going with it, but Ozzy Tank says that man ain't nothing but a 50-cent piece girl. Oh, whoa. Who y'all talking about, man? Yo, Ozzy, who you talking about like that? My goodness. Champagne the Dawn says, good thing. That's the work ethic, man. Already hungry coming to Pittsburgh, unlike Le'Veon. True. Yeah, Le'Veon, yeah, his immediate transition wasn't quite, you know what I mean? But I see where you're going with it. Let's read one more. Ladell Dorsey says, I think it's good, and it sets the standard for the locker room moving forward after Ben is gone. It's a good point. That'll be like the new AB. Okay. Nobody's saying it's bad, Ozzy. I'm just asking you guys a question. Like, I already gave my piece. I said I think it's a great thing. I just said, just have balance. You got to have some balance as far as life. And again, I'm sure the coaches are probably exaggerating a little bit in a good way, but I'm just saying. One more. Real Fact says, work ethic is never bad, Sim. Is it for everybody? No. But that's what makes a guy like Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, who he was. Absolutely, man. Rest in peace to my man, Kobe. Yeah, man. And speaking of that, it always, y'all know that Allen Iverson was one of my favorite players of all time, for many reasons. And I love when Iverson tells that story of, when Kobe met him in LA when he came out there, and, Iverson being who he was like, yo, what you getting into tonight? Da 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 da, what's popping? And Kobe was like, I'm going to the gym. That dude was different. That dude was different, man. He was different. Yes, Kenyon, and he is a great kid, man. Listen, Najee is showing me so much. I'll say this and be 100% honest about it. If something goes awry with Najee, I would be highly disappointed because of the character that he shows. Again, I wouldn't judge him. I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to put that in the air. I'm just saying that's how much I'm liking about this guy already. He seems to be a great person. Even if you just, listen to his backstory and, like I said, all the charitable things he does in the community and, giving back to the homeless shelters and all of that, given his background, he's a great dude, man. Great dude. So I would be highly disappointed and highly surprised if he was anything less than that. So do your thing, homie. Do your thing. All right, let's move on to the next one. Ray Ray McCloud. Let's talk about this, guys. Here's another question for you guys in the chat. Let me get a sip of water real quick, if you don't mind. For you guys that watch comedy, especially the old comedy, remember when guys like Martin used to always say that, y'all mind if I get a sip of water? So that's what I'm doing to y'all. Let me get another sip. If y'all see my face frown up a little bit, I got lemon in it. Got that lemon water. It's a little bitter. I might have put a little too much in it, but it's good for you, right? Real quick, Brett Fox says, Sim, high work ethic could result in burnout. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. It's a great point. That is a great point, Brent, excuse me. Great point. And that's why I see some of you guys can always tell while I'm asking questions. That's why I asked the question, just to see how some of you guys perceive it. Because that's what I mean when I say balance. Just don't overdo it. You can be all about football, like I said, eat and sleep football, but you have to pace yourself. You have to pace yourself. You must, right? You can have all of that work ethic and still be that dude and pace yourself. That's all. So, yeah, definitely don't want to burn yourself out. And the comfort that I have in it, too, to be honest, is like I think Ozzy said earlier. Listen, he went to Bama. You already know what it is with guys that go to Alabama. I mean, it's that's the mini NFL. It's a mini NFL program, and they put, no pun intended, mini. And see that's that hip hop background that I have, guys. You see how I flipped that? I said that's a mini NFL that puts mini in the NFL. Woo! Boy, still got a few bars in his tank, huh? Did y'all catch that? But yeah, man, it's Bama. It's Bama. And I'm sure he had the same work ethic there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think hopefully he knows how to balance it. But I'm not too concerned, but that is a concern though. You would have to just make sure don't burn yourself out, man, But definitely keep that ethic. Keep that work ethic. Do not lose that. And maybe he will be one of those running backs that's with the Steelers for 8 years. Who knows? We shall see. Let me see. All right, let's get to the next one. Ray Ray McCloud, man. And this again is a question for you guys in the chat. And of course, I'll give my thoughts. JuJu Smith-Schuster was quoted as saying that, we all know that he's been saying that he wants to work more on the outside, which is a little, don't know how I quite feel about that, only because he's so successful in the slot. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about JuJu working more on the outside. Not saying I'm against it, but I'm just thinking more like when we're in 11 personnel. That's where my mind is going. Who would I rather be in the slot? Of course, when we're not, with three receivers, JuJu's going to be this guy, and it's probably going to be Deontay on the other side as the X, or perhaps Claypool, or even James Washington at times. But when we're in 11, I prefer JuJu in the slot. But anyway, let me get to the point. JuJu said that he wants to work more on the outside. And he was quoted as saying that, hey, he thinks the next man up in the slot is Ray Ray McCloud. Yes, he said, he said the second best has to be Ray Ray McCloud. Now that's interesting. And I want to know what you guys think about that. The potential that we have if we have a guy like Ray Ray work in the slot. How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about him potentially being in the slot and JuJu not being in the slot that much? So, definitely throw your comments there in the chat. And, I'll get to them in a second. Just to give my thoughts. Again, it'll be brief. I already said it pretty much. I prefer JuJu in the slot for multiple reasons. JuJu does work in the slot. Okay, I think he's a matchup nightmare in the slot. He's a bigger receiver. He's physical. He's going to give you those across the middle, the slants and the third down possessions and, work in the middle of the field. Think about all the times that we saw that last year and him catching it and getting hit, keeping his balance and, springing himself forward. I like him in the slot. I prefer him in the slot. It's not to say that he can't do his thing on the outside. But I'm just saying, when JuJu is in the slot, he does work. JuJu Smith-Schuster has 2 97-yard touchdown receptions from the slot. I'm just saying, if it ain't broke, why am I trying to fix it? Now, is JuJu wanting to work more on the outside because, you're perceived to be a higher paid receiver when you're an outside guy? Perhaps. I'm not mad at the kid for that. I am not. Never. You will never hear me criticize a player or, in this case, a kid. Young guy, he's in his 20s. I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying he's 24. Still a kid for the most part in the league. I'm never going to be mad at a kid trying to get his bread. Why would I? Why would I ever be mad at that? But I hope that's not the only reason. I'm telling you, success-wise and where you're going to get your receptions and you're going to get your man on is in that slot. Now, again, if he goes to the outside and he turns out to be that dude, okay, I'll take a foot out the mouth. No problem. But I just think he's better suited in the slot, man. That's why I want him. Not to say that Ray Ray McCloud can't do it. I'd like to see some opportunity. Why not? Remember what I said? Let's mix it up. Let's see some lineups, man, that defenses ain't ready for. Let's do something crazy. Like Ray Ray in the slot, Najee, split out, McFarland in the backfield, some wild stuff like that. That's what I would love to see Matt Canada do, is utilize the personnel. Because he kept talking about mismatches, and we're going to get to that. That's going to be the final topic. But how do you guys feel about that, man? No disrespect to Ray Ray, but... Oh, okay. You said that second one was on the outside. All right, my bad. So you said the one against Denver, he was lined up in the outside? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. So, okay. I'll give him credit for that. I definitely just remember he was inside against the Lions. But you guys definitely check that out. And not to say I don't, I definitely believe my man here who put the comment. Who was that said that? My man Lydell. He says that JuJu actually was on the outside in that Denver game. But, okay, I'll take that one away. And I still will say I prefer him in the slot. That's just me. I prefer him in there. Let me see what you guys got, man, real quick. Then we'll get to the last topic. Oh, okay. Dust Thunder says JuJu has way more potential on the outside. Okay. Dust, can you if you don't mind, don't want to have don't want your fingers to burn out or nothing, but if you don't mind, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Just conversation. I just want to hear, some of you guys' thoughts. Lydell says JuJu and Claypool on the outside would also help the run game. Now that come see the round of applause. Guys, this is what I love about this show. A lot of times, I just put stuff out there and I don't share all of my thoughts until I see what you guys are saying. Yes, I fully agree with that. In fact, I believe I said that, Lydell, It was either last week or the week before that when we kind of brushed over the topic of formations, and I said that helps the run game. If you could have a guy like JuJu and Claypool on the outside, and if you, I think I was talking about if we were in 12, right? If you have two tights, and I talked about Freiermuth helping in that regard as well. But of course, when we're in formations, when we just have two outside guys, yes, and that's where I fully agree with that. In those scenarios, put JuJu and Claypool out there for blocking, and it is money. It is money. I just personally feel like that JuJu works better inside. Like I said, maybe I haven't seen enough of him on the outside to judge it. So I'm open to it. Okay, all right. Yeah, so all right. So there you go. So this guy is able to get a 97-yard touchdown from inside or out, right? Versatile, right? Let me see what else y'all got. Jay Hayes says JuJu is not an outside receiver. Okay, so Jay and Dust Thunder, you guys disagree on that. So again, if you guys, please be so kind, if you guys can elaborate on your opinions, I definitely want to hear that. I want to hear your thoughts. Champagne the Don says if JuJu plays the slot as a blocker, it's a wrap. Yep. And Good Brother Kenyon says, I will talk about JuJu next Still Table, which will be coming up probably next week. Let's go ahead and say that now since minicamp will wrap up this week. Let's go ahead and shoot for a Still Table next week, next Tuesday. He says, but he rarely plays slot at USC. I definitely remember that. As an outside receiver and was pivotal to the run game. Yep, there you go, because of the blocking. And I do remember him playing outside at USC. Let's see. I remember that as well, Lydell. He says he went one-on-one against Ramsey and Bouye in the Jags game. Definitely remember. That was beautiful, right? Consecutive drives. JuJu mossed both of them dudes. Loved it. But okay. Oh, hold on. Dust Thunder wrote his point here. He says, well, when he's in the slot, obviously he's going to have worse numbers overall. He has the most potential for big plays on the outside. You saw in 2018 sometimes. Okay, but that's fair. But what I really wanted to hear is the argument as to why you prefer him outside more so than him in the slot. So that's what I kind of want to hear from some of you guys is, not necessarily the numbers. I want to know from your eye test, where would you prefer him? Like I said, I prefer him in the slot because I just like what he does when he works the middle. Him being, the possession guy, I think it would lend to less times where they could rotate coverage to him or double him. And, I think the inside matchup, even if a team decides to go man and they have their best corner follow him inside, I still like him working inside, especially based off of our current offense, right? I think JuJu right now is probably the guy who's going to win more of those situations in the slot. Deontay Johnson, I still feel like is the best route runner, which is the reason why you make him an X. Claypool is going to have to show us a little more in terms of, the route tree and things like that. Same as James Washington. So that's why I said, and I'm not underrating Ray Ray McCloud. I honestly don't know what he gives us in the slot. I haven't seen him play. I didn't really pay attention to him when he was in there, even though he played it some last year. I can honestly say I didn't really pay attention to his snaps at slot. So I don't know. Maybe he is, he's shifty. So where he does give you some opportunity, quick passes, quick slants, things like that, get him the ball and let him work. Fair. Not saying that Ray can't do it. Not saying that JuJu can't be better outside. I'm just saying from my eye test, I prefer him the way he's worked with Pittsburgh in the slot. That's all. But hey, wherever he can make it happen, make it happen. Y'all know my motto. Wherever he's best, that's where we playing. But all right, let's get to the last topic, man. Then we'll get to some phone calls if we have any. Last and final topic. Will Ben Roethlisberger hold back Matt Canada's offense? I don't want to spend too much time on this. I don't want to say this disrespectfully. I would say yes in a sense, only because Matt Canada has come out and he said that we're going to do whatever Ben wants to do. That scares me a little bit. Only because, and I fully agree with what he said, your quarterback is the most important. He's the focal point. Absolutely. We cannot deny that. But it scares me a little bit because I don't want Ben to fall back in love with his comfort zone in terms of 5 wide or empty set and we're slinging the football. We cannot do that. Now, where I do feel like there is some hope is clearly Matt Canada has said we have to run the football better. Art Rooney II has said we need to run the football. I mean, it's the emphasis is on us running the football. I mean, we draft Najee Harris in the first round. Clearly, the running game is going to be a focus. So I think there may be a marriage of Matt Canada infusing what he wants to do in terms of, game plan, and Ben Roethlisberger will have input in terms of which part of the game plan he prefers. I'm hoping that's what happens. I hope it doesn't turn into a situation where Ben just wants to do what he wants to do, and the offense is looking very similar. Listen, if it works, great. But I want to see different looks. That's what I'm getting excited about with Matt Canada. I want to see some different looks. I want to see us throw some things out on the defense that they're not familiar with. I want the Ravens to have to be scratching their head like, what? This ain't Pittsburgh. This ain't what they normally do. As well as the Browns, as well as the Bengals. I want our divisional opponents to kind of be like, whoa, what's this? You understand what I'm saying? That's what I want from Matt Canada. Throw some wrinkles. You're going to do some familiarity, of course. I'm cautiously optimistic by now him saying that. Which direction is Ben going to go in? Now, Ben Roethlisberger, let's be fair, let's give Ben some credit. A better running game with the way Ben Roethlisberger ran the offense last year. It's enough. So I'm not going to dismiss what Ben wants to do this early. But like I said, it just gives me some cautious optimism, kind of like, and they're all saying the terminology is a little different, but it just doesn't make me feel great by him deferring so much to Ben. But at the end of the day, that's your Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, come on. How much do you want him to change in the last year of his career? So if we're being realistic, it's not going to be that much of a difference. You wouldn't expect. Kenyon has said as much. We'll be looking for the next quarterback that can fully run that system. So what I would hope, the last thing I would say on it is, like I said a little bit earlier, I would hope it would be a marriage between the two. Canada has a plan. He has, these formations and such, and just, a general plan as far as what he wants to present. And Ben Roethlisberger picks what he loves out of that plan, and that's what he functions and what he runs, effectively the most. Not so much him reverting back to the Ben Roethlisberger we've seen the last 5 years and that comfortable offense. No. I hope it's what I said before. It's Canada's offense, and Ben finds and falls in love with things he wants to do out of that offense. That's what I'm hoping. But we'll see. Again, TBD. But yeah, we shall see. But, there's definitely some things, man, in the Canada's offense that, we've seen him do in the past that Roethlisberger is not really going to be able to do some of those things. So there you have it, man. Take it for however you want to take it. Let's get to the phone calls, man. Let's see how many we got. We got 3. So you guys know the routine, man. In and out. I have to say this a lot, but let's keep them shorter because you never know how many calls we're going to get. And we can't be here all night, right? But all right, let's jump into the phone queue. Let's see who we got first. Looks like area code 678. Let me make sure I turn the browser back on so you guys can hear him. There we go. All right, coming to you first, 678. What you got for us?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Hey, quick fast, like I told you last week, I'm in the A, and the Hawks fan said you ain't got nothing to worry about because it's just the high hope teams out here.
Oh, man. I don't know,
Secondly, that's what the Hawks, I mean, I'm strictly Steelers, and that's it. Secondly, I feel as though Canada's going to appease Ben because, he got 17 years in the game.
Yeah.
He knows the game. And, you know what I'm saying? With us having, like everybody knows, Najee Harris, he can also rely on the running game this year. The third down efficiency is going to be spectacular for the Steelers this year. I also want to know if we had an opportunity to sign Le'Veon, would you, for the minimum, would you be opposed to that?
Yep. I don't want him. No disrespect. I mean, I love Le'Veon when he was there.
That drama.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't want him, man. It's like I said. I love when guys go get their money. It's just I just didn't like how that whole thing ended. So let's let that stay in the past.
Yeah. All right, and then the last thing, and then I'll get off the telephone so somebody else can get in here. Like you said about JuJu. I like the versatility. Like if the man can play in the slot and we can find a matchup problem, you know what I'm saying? Hey, let's roll with it. If he can play outside and we can find a matchup problem, or because somebody else is, like say Ray Ray is in the slot and JuJu and Claypool is outside, or Deontay Johnson's in the slot. I mean, Deontay gonna have to come with his hands this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But whoever, if we can have the more matchup problems that we can have, and it looks like that's what Canada's offense is based off, matchup issues. I'm with that. Also, I noticed that we only got like 3 defensive players missing, Bud Dupree, Kenyon wouldn't even say his name. You know what I'm saying? He had, he just now started coming around. Steven Nelson, he might wind up signing back. And then Hilton. They saying that guy from Penn State, though, is looking like a mini Hilton. What is it, Secure or something like that?
Nah, he's from Michigan State. Guy? Yeah, Shakur Brown.
Michigan State.
Yeah, the
Shakur
Penn State
Brown.
guy
is the
Penn State is the safety. That dude, what's his name? Lamar Wade.
I think one of them guys is saying that he could come in and actually perform just as well as Hilton. I mean, of course, we'll have to see. But the good thing about this season is, like I said last week, is we got many camps, OTAs, training camps, preseason. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to find out quick, fast this year as opposed to last year where we had to sign out on the fly. But I thank you for taking my call, Sim, as usual. Have a great week.
Sir.
One more thing, Sim.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have one more thing. What do you think about this? When Heath used to score or Keith catch passes, we'd be like, Heath. I was thinking like this year when Claypool scored a touchdown, we'd be like, Pooh. Thanks for taking my call, cuzzo.
No problem, man. Yeah, I like that, man. I like the little chants and stuff like that, so I'm not opposed to that at all. Real quick, like I said, I'm opposed to Le'Veon Bell coming back. Nope, don't want him. And no disrespect to him. I know a lot of people remember when we drafted him, I was high on him over Eddie Lacy. But, I'm cool with that. And the last thing, not the last thing, but one of the things you said, I'll just chime on real quick and then we'll move on. Yes, I hope people didn't, take it wrong when I said I'd want him in the slot. It's just what I've seen him do for Pittsburgh, right? We know where he played at USC, and we know he's capable of being on the outside because even as he plays in the slot, when we go with just 2 wideouts, he's on the outside. I love the versatility too. I'm just saying, from what I've seen him do for us, I want to keep him there, but you never know. He might mess around and get outside and be better. So I'm not going to, again, I'll keep it TBD. It's just how I feel today. Man, keep that boy inside because he works in there. But, hey, man, if he turned out to be that guy and somebody like Ray Ray or, like you said, Anybody else, Deontay or somebody is causing problems in the slot, then that is a good problem to have where JuJu can play both. So we'll see. But next up, man, we got Mr. Winningham 803. What you got for us?
Hey, good evening. I hope everybody had a great week last week and have a great week this week as well. When I think about Le'Veon Bell, it could have been the career that could have been. I mean, he could have been this and he could have been that. Had he come back the last couple of years, maybe not last year with our offensive line and running game woes, but the 2 years before had Ben not got hurt, even when Ben got hurt, what could have been with we really could have done a lot of great things those 3 years. As far as Najee Harris, he's the type player that I'm excited about. I always wondered why we didn't draft a lot of Alabama players. I know probably doesn't have anything to do with it, but it has. Those guys come in, and they're coming in with the winning pedigree. This guy's coming in with an attitude that I want to win. And that right there, if Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown had that attitude, we could have won championships. So, eventually you have to slow him down. He's like a wild horse right now, so you got to break him before you can, so we can get him ready. Lastly, with the offense, I feel that, Matt Canada's going to bring a lot of formations, but Ben does not, with Ben's style of play, it does not lend to Matt Canada being able to put all his plays in. But I'm excited that we can run a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of reverses, and Ben has to get under the center so that we won't look so predictable. He has to get under the center. We can't sit there and go out again with this chuck and duck offense that we've been doing over the years. One thing I love with Bill Cowell and the Ken Wisenhunt era, sometimes we took a less accomplished wide receiver, or we had multiple weapons like Hines Ward or Randall L. who could throw the ball, and we could do more plays with, more gadgets. That's the kind of things I hope that Matt Canada brings to the team this year. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great week.
No problem at all, Mr. Winningham. Thank you, man. Always coming through. And like I said, man, Mr. Winningham just got that wisdom voice, man. I love talking to Mr. Winningham. But yeah, I'll stay right there, give my comments on what he said about the run game. We got to run the football. Ben's going to have to get under center. We got to. And if I'm being fair to Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Canada, we can't expect it to change, but so much. I think what I really want, and as I've been listening to you guys and replaying what I said in my own mind, yeah, I'm crazy like that, right? I'll say something and then go back and I'll think about it. Okay, how did you really feel about what I said? That's weird, right? But the more I think about it, it's impossible to expect that the offense will look totally different. For one, we know, like Mr. Winningham said, Ben's style of play. It ain't but so much that you're going to be able to change all of a sudden. Maybe a few different things, a few different looks, like he said, putting him under center a couple times, but his style of play is his style of play. But I think what's tough is that if you're like me, we've seen the type of things that Matt Canada can do, especially, man, if you guys remember that video, all of them disguises and stuff, and just think of what he could do with a more mobile type quarterback. We're going to have to wait to see the full splendor. So this year, we're probably going to, like I said, we're going to see a good complement of Matt Canada building on what Ben does well, and still allowing Ben to do what he likes. And we're going to see a better running game. I think we're definitely going to see a better running game, like some of you guys said here as well. Having Claypool and JuJu on the outside helps. I would even like to see, just because we ain't seen it in a while, a couple looks in the eye for him. You know what I mean? Let's utilize, and thank you, Carrie Smith. Appreciate that. We're going to throw a round of applause for the subscribe. Appreciate that. Welcome home, and welcome to the home team. But yeah, man, I like to see a couple looks in the I formation with Najee back there. Let that boy Derek Watt do some work. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But let's get to the last call here. Looks like we have area code 651. What you got for us tonight?
What's up with you, Sam?
Good. What's going on, man?
Not much. So one of the things I know some people are going to disagree with me with, but I really saw this last year. The reason I think our running game be better, one, the added offensive lines. Two, what Canada brings to the offense. But the third thing is, I guess you can say Najee's running IQ. Our backs last year, there was plenty of times where it was 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1, and instead of just taking what they see, they're trying to bounce to the outside, knowing that the offensive line can't hold it. They're not going to give you a second chance. You're not going to get here then bounce outside. And a lot of times, that's one of the things that we miss from losing Le'Veon. Le'Veon will take that 2 or 3 yards. Okay, I get up and line back up again. Connor and Snell, they always make the wrong. It seems like they make the wrong decision unless it's a highway there in front of them. So I think that's going to help a lot, and it'll help Ben with having open lanes to pass through, things like that. As far as what you said about JuJu, I like him in the slot on critical downs, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, like he's going to be a monster. And the fact that we got Najee back there, they make those linebackers cheat up a little bit, especially with the misdirection that we have, and then JuJu's right behind them, catching the slant or whatever. So I like him moving around. I don't like him constantly in the slot and not constantly outside, because I think about that Jazz game, those back shoulder catches he did like back to back almost. So
yeah, he did.
I like to see that too. So I like him on both sides. Also about Najee being tired or burning himself out. The one thing I noticed is him and AP got that same look in their eye. They got that I don't know. It's something different about them. Like they always on go. Like they're always amped or something.
Oh yeah,
so
you
if
talking
you look at
now?
Him and AP, they got.
I know what you're saying.
They got that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? So, and then the last thing, so I'm gonna talk about Bell since you brought that up. The one thing I've been saying since the Super Bowl is that was the game Andy Reid should have used him, because they bracketed Kelsey and Hill all game and tried to make the other receivers beat them, and they couldn't. This is the game you let Bell come out, leak out of the backfield, and see what the secondary can do with him once he's there. Eventually, that would have loosened up that coverage and allowed Hill or Kelsey to get open. But that was, to me, that was the one game that he could have changed. I'm not saying you give him the ball 30 times, but when they bracking him back on those two people, he could have killed in the secondary until they got out of their defense. But so I feel him on that, but yeah, it was stupid to say. But thank you, man.
Nah, man. Hey, I agree with that, and thanks for the call. Like always, appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys, man, that call faithfully. Yeah. Listen, I just didn't like what he said, but I ain't got nothing but love for Le'Veon, man. Even like I said, even the way he sat out, I didn't like how it went down, but I get it. And, I don't know these guys personally, so, and I'm older than these guys, so I try not to be that person that's so critical. We all did some crazy things, I'm sure. Some of you guys are in your 20s right now, or even earlier than that. You're going to do some crazy stuff. You're going to do some things that, when you get a little older, you get in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever, you're going to look back at it and be like, man, what was I doing there? So I try not to be that guy. I just wish he stopped, he would stop talking so much. You know what I'm saying? Because he even did it with the situation with us. Everything ain't got to be said. And definitely ain't got to be said on social media where it's going to become a story. You understand what I'm saying? But, yeah, Le'Veon Bell, you're right. And honestly, I didn't even pay attention to that much of what was going on. That's the thing. Sometimes when I'm watching other teams, every now and then, like if I'm watching an opponent, but I won't even pay attention to the fact of what they were doing, to Kelsey and the old boy. So that's a good point. Bell leaking out the backfield or splitting them out, letting them run some routes that might have opened up some things, because he would have been an interesting matchup had they put somebody like White on him. That would have been cool to see. But yeah, can't disagree there. Le'Veon Bell probably could have helped out at least with his receiving skills, but I guess you live and you learn. That's what they say, right? But all right, guys, let's get to some comments here, man. Fire your way. We'll sit here a little bit longer. And while I wait for you guys to write some comments, let me ask you guys a question really quick, and be as honest as you want, because again, this is a family affair here. You know, we're all family. You know, I'm doing the talking, you're seeing me, and I'm doing the presentation, but I want everything to be the way you guys prefer it to be. You know, your comfort is my comfort. Now, as you guys can tell, I play music during the show. Let me explain to you why really quick. It's not like everybody else, right? It's not like, you know, the thing to do now with people who stream, I mean, not now, it's been this way for years, but everybody, you know, it's copy and paste. Everybody starts playing music, and everybody has these special lights and all of that. I play music because the music that you hear is my music, created by me, right? And I just love music. I'm a music guy. You know, I was in the music business for a while. Now I'm not. And now I'm into production. I make music. And I just love music. So to me, it's the reason why when I watch movies, I even judge, you know, how the cinematics and how the music goes with the scene. So I'm like a walking soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that sometimes, man, maybe not now because I have a family, but when I was single, I'm the guy that might be walking through the mall with headphones on because I'm literally walking to music. You know what I'm saying? It's just, so I love hearing music. I'm going to take these headphones off in a minute, so I won't be able to hear it, but I just want to make sure that the music doesn't bother you guys. Make sure it's not a bother, because, you know, sometimes people will say, hey, man, I wish there wasn't any music, and I wish it wasn't so loud. So you guys always tell me how y'all feel about whatever you're hearing in the show, seeing in the show. Please, it has to be an enjoyable experience for you guys. But I wanted to say that real quick. So let's get to the comments, man. What do you guys got? Throw something at me, man. Throw something at me. Ozzy said, yeah, he grows up. Quit trying to be a baby gangster. Yeah, okay. Why Diggy says, Canada's offense may be built for a mobile quarterback, but remember, he did all right at Pitt with Nathan Peterman. Woo, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. If Ben can make some adjustments to his game, and that's a big if, the offense will improve. Yeah, man, listen, Diggy, I'm right there with you in terms of minor stuff. Because, again, like I said, let Ben Roethlisberger be Ben Roethlisberger with a better running game. Honestly, if we're being honest, he can be exactly what he was last year with a better running game. So if we throw in the percentage of times that we ran the football and our production improves 50% of what it was last year in terms of just the sheer numbers and sheer attempts, excuse me, it's a totally better offense that quick. So it might not need wholesale changes. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else y'all got. C. Brown said, music is fine. Don't change anything. All right. Lanisha says she likes the music. All right. Black Hawk says, I enjoy the music. I do everything to music. Me too, man. Me too. Yeah, I'm just a music head, man. So y'all have to forgive me sometimes. But the funny thing is with music, again, some of y'all might not even understand this. I know Kenyon will. But because I've been involved with music, I hate music that's unmixed, right? And that's the reason why some of you guys may wonder, that's why you hear different volumes when different tracks come on, because they're not mixed. You know what I'm saying? So it might have a light mix to it that I'm only doing in the production software, but it's not fully mixed and mastered. So those levels, I hate that. Now, it's funny because the average person don't even understand that. You know, like it's times when I used to do music and I'd do like a reference in the studio and I'll let my boy or somebody hear it back in the day. And they'd be like, yo, that's tough. Da, 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 da. I'm like, nah, I don't like it because it ain't mixed. Like, and if you've ever done music or if you are involved with music, There's nothing like hearing mixed music and vocals. Once you get exposed to that, you hear it immediately. But like to you guys, it probably sound fine. But to me, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just me. Yeah, I'm just a music head, man. I made another track earlier today. That's just what I do, man. Ozzy says, what kind of drums? Mostly what you guys are hearing. Hold on, let me think about this. Most of what you guys are hearing now was done on the MPC. I got an MPC. I use an MPC studio mostly. That's what most of what you're hearing. Some of the tracks that you guys are hearing I did in Ableton, but most of them, yeah, it's the MPC. Very simple, very Actually, I can show it to you. Hold on, y'all. I know this ain't the segment, but here you go. For any of you guys that care to know. This is the device. This is the device. Right there. That's typically what I use. And I use that for mostly everything. And a lot of tracks that I do are in MPC software using that, but I use it also with Ableton. I've actually made beats in GarageBand, like some older ones. But yeah. So let me get back to the other stuff. Yeah, man. Kenya know. I know he know. But it's totally different. Let's see what y'all got. Todd says, still a nation. Appreciate you and your hard work. I don't pay attention to the music, but I do pay attention to the content. Hey, man, thank you. Thank you. Well, like I said, I'm just explaining to you guys why sometimes, again, I tell y'all everything. It's family, man. Let me take these headphones off. Headphones make you hot under these lights. But I tell y'all everything. But all right, man, throw some more stuff at me, guys. Some more Steelers questions, comments. We'll spend another, maybe, about 5 minutes in here. That beat reminds me of Chick Corea, Dave Wreck. Okay. Yeah, that's what you're hearing right now. Hold on, let me see what y'all listening to. Oh, it's gone off. But that other one, that was a simple. That was a simple little sample I found, and I built everything else around that. Realistically, are you expecting an offensive line to struggle, Sim? If I'm being honest, maybe a little bit. Like anything else, I think it's going to take some time for these guys to, get some chemistry. If we're being fair. Listen, Chooks played left tackle. He was drafted for that. Maybe he's better suited over there. You can say how you feel for him and don't feel for him at right tackle and, kind of do your assessment from there. It is different. Zach Banner, didn't see much of him. He got hurt, but he's such a big guy. And again, I'm going to give credit and respect. The dude played at a big-time school. Kenya knows him well. I give anybody a chance that played in, a top-notch level. He's a big boy. And so I think Zach Banner could probably be successful at right tackle. I'm not as worried about Zach. David DeCastro, we know what David DeCastro is, and he's going to be what we know him to be. Very excited by Kevin Dotson being the guy. If Kendrick Green is the starter, I do worry a little bit about his rawness, but I love his nasty. And some people would say that's a pause statement. But I love his nasty, man. You know, he's, I love it. I love his grit. You know, but yeah, you know, you have to be concerned with how he's going to fare if he ends up being the starter. Because, you know, he's a rookie, number one. He's not the biggest guy. You know, you're going to be going against them boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, the NFL ain't no game. It ain't no play game. You know, even the guys that we think are scrubs, put them on a college roster and watch what they do. You know what I'm saying? So the NFL is a whole different ball game. So yes, to answer your question, I'm a little concerned, but I understand they're going to have to grow into themselves, if that makes sense. Let's see. I don't have any questions, just ready for preseason. No doubt, C. Brown, no doubt. BMK, Bully Mob Kennel, do you see any surprise cuts happening? I don't at the moment, but let me preface that by saying at the moment. Depends on who we might bring in. I don't think we're done. Let's not forget, Malik Hooker could end up coming back, and I don't know if that's going to result into a surprise cut, but there could be a surprise cut in a guy, and I don't know if it's surprising, but maybe we recut a Vince Williams if it comes down to it. Other than that, I don't foresee it yet. But let's keep our eyes on that. That's a great question, brother. Hold on. Somebody just said, Sean McGuire says, I think the line will be okay, but I'm expecting some false starts. Yeah. Let me take this off. Yeah, man. We have to at least be realistic there. C. Antoine Hill says, Sim, do you really think that this is Ben's last year? What if he balls out? I think this is it. It needs to be it. And that's shout outs to Pinsman Gaming, another gamer in the house. Round of applause for the subscription. Welcome home. You are now a part of the home team. Let's see. Yeah, even if he balls out, I mean, listen, if he stays upright and he's not injured, maybe, but I kind of think it's time, man. I mean, I don't foresee Ben Roethlisberger being the 40-plus-year-old quarterback. I just don't, you know, because Ben plays the way he plays, he's going to get hit some. And because of the way he plays now, you know, he's liable to get injured a little bit. So I think it's his last season, man, even if he balls out. I think the only thing that brings him back, bold prediction here, only thing that brings Ben back, we get to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, and we lose by like a touchdown. I know that would hurt, right? But I think it would have to be something like that. Because think about it. In the last few years, you know, we went as far as the AFC Championship. Remember that year? We all want to lose that from our memory banks because we got waxed defensively. But then, you know, we had a bye. We were 13-3. We had the second round playoff game in our house and lost. Like we've gotten closer and closer and closer to the promised land. So I think it would have to take us actually getting to the Super Bowl and not winning for him to come back. I don't think there's any other incentive. You know, like how much better is the team going to be? You know what I'm saying? So that's my quick assessment on it. Who does Najee remind you of? Le'Veon Bell. That is Le'Veon Bell 2.0 in my opinion. See what else y'all got. A few more minutes. What else y'all got? Why Diggy says, honestly, he's surprised Ben is playing. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know. But, you know, he might still got that desire burning in his belly, man. Super Bowl or bust. Woo. Let me modify your statement. Not taking yours away, but let me modify it in my own words. For Ben Roethlisberger, like what I just said a few minutes ago. For Ben Roethlisberger, I think it's that. Super Bowl or bust. If he gets to the Super Bowl and we lose, maybe he comes back. If he played well, void of injury, anything like that. But other than that, and as far as the team Super Bowl or bust, I'm not going to say that, me personally, because I think we took a step back. And until we play. I mean, listen, until y'all want me to be brutally honest, we won 11-0 last year. Remember what I kept saying every week, and some of y'all was getting on me about it. I was like, I don't know, guys. I know we 7-0, but when we were 9-0, I was like, some of these games we winning, I just don't feel like this is the game. I don't feel like we that good. We kept winning, and I kept saying it. Remember when we played Washington? Y'all killed me for it. I said, yo, man, they might get us. We can't run the football. They front four and pretty much 7 is a problem. Look what happened. Y'all think we're going to be better than that? Are we a better team defensively this year? We don't know yet. So that's the reason why I can't put those predictions on us yet, because I don't know what team we're going to put on display. So yeah, I don't know if I could say that. Shakur Brown definitely has a chance. That's the guy, and I think, who was that? 651. One of you guys who said that. That's the guy. It's Shakur Brown. But all right, man. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it here. It is 8:52. Let me check the basketball schedule, see if anybody is on tonight, because I plan to walk on the treadmill tonight. And watching TV always helps. I walked on it last night. Trying to keep that good cardio health, guys. Oh, it ain't but one game tonight. All right, it just started. So, yeah, I'll watch a little bit of that while I'm on the... Woo, Milwaukee. 3 minutes, 27 seconds left in the first. They already up 22-9. Woo, boy. Woo, boy. Brooklyn might be in trouble, man. They might be in trouble. You know, listen, I know they are a power team, and when you lose 2 guys, ain't but so much Durant can do, right? But all right, let me go ahead and get out of here, man. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Do this for me, please. Subscribe. Cut on your notification. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. If you like it, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Either one helps, actually. Just share your thoughts. But outside of that, man, I hope you guys have a great one. You know, stay well, stay safe. God bless. Good night. And I thank you guys for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. Peace.